Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk about the India-Pakistan war. Now, I'm going to try and not get as technical as as much as possible. I'm going to try and keep it simple. So we have what we call a Saturn-Neptune conjunction coming up, which happens every 35 to 37 years. And if I can describe it with a couple of words, what that energy means is that of dissolution and disintegration. So with Saturn Neptune, last time it happened was 1989. What happened? Berlin Wall fell. The Soviet Union dissolved, and obviously the aftermath of those two things was many other things happened in the world around borders, boundaries, blurring of borders, boundaries, adjustments of contracts, treaties, agreements on how these things are managed. And I do believe this is what India and Pakistan will go through broadly over the next 12 to 18 months. But in terms of a mini time frame, in the near future, in 2025, I'd be watching for the period between late May to early September. And if I narrow it down and highlight a key sub-period within this sort of a broader period, I'd be looking at late June to mid-August, those 6 weeks of 2025, but broadly, as I said, late May to early September. The other key time frame of interest, and that is even more important, would be the period between November 2025 to March, April of 2026. I think that by March, April 2026, we will be in a very different world, or we'll be very clearly headed towards a different world as far as India and Pakistan are concerned, by which I mean, again, shifting of boundaries and borders, and very much a different setup, different agreement, different sort of parameters under which borders and boundaries between the two countries are handled. I believe that this will eventually favor India more than it would Pakistan. Is there going to be violence or a war involving some kind of violence? Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Wouldn't surprise me. There's a couple of other types of war, whether that's a trade war, or a technology war, or an information war. And again, we should see that in the next 12 to 18 months. And again, keeping in mind the couple of time frames that I gave you, it's the sub periods that I gave you, which I repeat, late May to early September this year, 25, and early November 2025 to March, April 2026. If I had to narrow down, I'll give you a sub period for 2026. That'll be early January to late February. Those 6 to 7 weeks are very important. Especially a couple of weeks, if I narrow down even more, a couple of weeks surrounding Valentine's Day. So 14th of February plus minus, which basically gives us the month of February, if you know what I mean. So I'd be watching for that. For what? For Saturn Neptune themes to come up, for shifting of borders, boundaries, or movement, actions, things happening in that direction, and in very obvious ways, news around all this, media publicity around all this, if you like. That's what I'd be watching for. I do pray and hope that peace returns to the world very soon. God bless and take care.